In this video, we will cover 5 things that I did wrong for 6 years in college and what I would do differently and how you can apply it to your college experience. And by the end of this video, you will know the truth about how to maximize your college experience. So the first thing is to watch for social dynamics. That means what before class, choosing to interact with people, choosing to say hello. I know I've seen it, the AirPods and phone, it's a real thing, especially post-pandemic. And choosing to interact and say something nice. Say, hey, I love your hair, I like your shoes. Doing something to make someone else feel special and create that environment of goodwill, that makes such a difference in your classroom experience and in getting to know other people. The second thing is you will only get out of a specific class what you put into it. So this means is the material, have we read it ahead of time? Have you read it ahead of time? Are you prepared? Are you willing to ask questions? This can be a huge thing to have the confidence and the willingness to be wrong. There's so much social pressure to be right. And the truth is that if you have a question, there's almost always 5 to 10 other people in the same class as you that have the same question, and you choosing to ask brings value not just to you, but to everyone else. And I just want to encourage you that interaction, it also raises your level of intentionality and awareness because now you're invested in that class. And you may be asking, hey, what if I'm an introvert? What if my parents expect me to get A's? What if being perfect is like a part of who I am? What if I don't even really know why I'm here at college, or I don't know what I want to do with this degree? The kind of next thing is this 80-20 rule, which is we get 80% of our results from 20% of our efforts. Now, this is true in all areas of life, but it's especially true in our college experience as well. And one of the things that I'm choosing to do and that I do each semester is I ask myself, if I could only gain the material from one of these classes of the 4, 5, or 6 that I'm taking this semester, which one would matter the most to me? And what's going on there is I'm actually, some of these classes we have to take. They're GEs, they're required for a major. We don't really care that much about them. But what happens when I choose one that's the most important to me, now I've gotten to, in some way, take back control. And having that sense of control, having that sense of ownership of I'm choosing to engage the most in this class can increase the temperature, can increase the value that we place on that class. And one of the things that I found too is that with these classes, I'll go, okay, this class matters most. I want an A in this class. But not only that, I also want mastery or long-term retention of the material in this specific class. And I used to think, oh, if you get an A, that usually equals long-term retention. Not necessarily. There's different ways of studying, and some are better for just doing well on a test, and some are better for long-term retention, and sometimes those overlap, but they don't always. And so what's most important to me will determine where I will put more time. And the fourth thing is to remember that a grade does not define your value. If you get a B or a C or a D or an F, or you drop a class, that doesn't make you not valuable. And I know that there's someone that's going, that's not true, like I have to get A's, or that's not true, I have to pass. And this is something that I'm still working on in my own life. Last semester was the first time where I said to myself, hey, I want 2 A's and 3 B's. Or maybe it was 3 A's and 2 B's. But it was the first time where I ever gave myself permission to get B's and be okay with that. Because one of the things that I learned, there are some programs where having straight A's, it really matters. And I want to do the best that we want to do the best that we can. And there are some things that are more important. If I'm destroying myself in the process of trying to be perfect, that's not a worthwhile trade-off for me anymore. And so if you're watching this and you're just starting college and you can decide, hey, maybe I do want A's on all my classes, or I want A's in these ones and getting a B in this one, it creates this structure where it's okay. And the other thing is that it's one bad grade does not determine the semester, almost ever. Like I've had times where I got a 50% on one grade and I was still able to pass. Like there have been so many times like that has happened to me. And so at this point, because I've done that so many times, I know that one bad grade doesn't even determine the final grade. And I want to encourage you. And also for me, I had a class during the pandemic that I actually completely dropped. And that class where I then came back the next semester and got an A in that same class, that is the most satisfying class that in my 6 years over, I think I'm at like 100, I'm at least 90 units between 3 associates and I'm about a year away from a bachelor's degree. But that class that I dropped and then came back and got an A, that was the most satisfying, even though it felt like such a failure in the moment. But I realized that didn't define me. It's actually created such life and such enjoyment that I was able to come back, that I was able to overcome that. And the fifth, really the kind of last thing is that we want to maximize everything that we can. So that means taking the time to learn about what are the clubs, I'm at Sacramento State University, and so what's offered at the gym? Are there nutrition classes? Is there therapy? Is there health services? Are there clubs that I can be joining? There's an innovation and entrepreneurship center at Sacramento State. There's all these things, all these resources that are free that I can choose to engage with or choose not to. And the thing is, I'm spending the same amount of money either way. So if I do go to the classes that are offered for free, like yoga or Pilates, or I enjoy the climbing wall, or if I do therapy, or if I go to the health services and get a free checkup and go like, hey, my neck was feeling kind of weird, can you look at that? Like taking advantage of those things that are free and accessible to me, or they're not free, I paid for them with my tuition. And so I can gain from that and maximize that. I can join a club and build my network and learn about other industries that I might be interested in, or I cannot. But this is a really unique time where even if it feels like everything's so busy, I actually can learn so much from other people and from their experiences. So the big takeaway is to learn all the things that your college offers you as an added value. You're already paying for the classes. Everything else is free extras. And decide, hey, what's the most important class to me? That's going to bring you so much enjoyment, so much ownership of that, because you got to choose what mattered most. One bad grade, one failed class, one grade that's not what you want it to be, it doesn't define you. And that's really just my encouragement to you, that those are really the 5 things that I wish I would have known when I was 18 and starting at school, or actually 15 starting in college. To watch for social dynamics. You'll only get out what you put into it. The 80-20 rule, it works with classes just like everything else. I learned that grades don't define my worth, and that I want to maximize everything that I can. Thank you so much for watching. Adios.